Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking what's honestly a deeply frustrating paradox in the tech industry. It's the story of the hardworking, highly skilled software developer. You know, the person who masters complex frameworks, solves impossible bugs, stays up till 2 a.m. fixing production issues, and yet somehow remains entirely financially stuck. If you're putting in maximum mental effort but your bank account just isn't reflecting it, well, you are absolutely in the right place.
Look at this quote and really let it sink in for a second. You can be the smartest developer in the room and still be the poorest person at the table. It feels incredibly unfair, doesn't it? I mean, you have immense technical discipline, you write beautifully clean code, but we have to face a really harsh truth about the market. Being phenomenally good at coding is definitely not the same thing as being good at creating value.
So we have to ask ourselves, why doesn't all that intelligence and sheer effort always equal wealth? It's a huge trap. A lot of developers actually believe that if they just learn, one more language, master a new database, or get that shiny new cloud certification, they're just going to automatically break through their income ceiling. But technical skill alone has a hard limit. Your intelligence is likely just trapped inside execution. Okay, let's dive into exactly why this happens. We'll map out the smart developer trap, the execution ceiling, what happens when you're missing leverage in product thinking, the curse of the invisible coder, and finally, how to make the jump from pure labor to strategic talent. Starting off with Section 1, the smart developer trap, and what happens when technical skill hits a ceiling. Look, obviously technical ability matters immensely, but it really only gets you to a certain baseline. To build real wealth, you have to realize that coding is, at the end of the day, simply a tool. Companies do not pay top-tier salaries just because someone wrote elegant code in a vacuum. No way. They pay for outcomes. They're paying for more revenue, lower operational costs, better user retention, and faster operations. Your income isn't limited by how well you structure a database. It's limited by your grasp of the business itself. Which brings us to Section 2, the execution ceiling. This is trap number 1. They only code. You see this happen when developers think their entire job is just to receive tasks, push commits, and close Jira tickets. By doing that, they inadvertently make themselves super easily replaceable. Just notice the massive difference in mindsets here. Developer A says, "Tell me what to build." They are completely stuck at the implementation layer, just waiting for instructions. But developer B says, "Hey, I notice users are dropping off during onboarding. Let's fix this flow to increase revenue." Developer B isn't just coding, they're actively solving expensive problems, and that makes them infinitely more valuable. Let's move on to Section 3, missing leverage and product. These are traps 2 and 3, working hard but not smart. Without leverage and product thinking, all of your massive intelligence remains trapped in a cycle where you're continually trading time for money. Basically, the moment you stop working, the money stops flowing. Leverage means using something to multiply your effort, producing value even when you aren't actively working. Developers without leverage are essentially just renting out their brains by the hour. Every new sprint, every new job, they're starting from scratch. Wealthy people, on the flip side, build assets that compound over time. To put that into perspective, think about the number 10,000. A developer can spend their entire career serving exactly one employer at a time, writing code from 9 to 5. Or that exact same developer can use their skills to build a SaaS tool, a template, or an API that effortlessly serves 10,000 users simultaneously. It's the exact same underlying technical skill, right? But one is skilled infinitely, and the other is totally capped by the hours in a day. That is the massive power of leverage. But here's the catch. Leverage is completely useless if nobody actually wants what you've built. That's trap 3, missing product thinking. This means focusing on the customer's pain and the desired business outcome. You can argue on Reddit literally all day about whether to use React, Vue, AWS, or GCP, but guess what? Customers absolutely do not care. They don't care about your stack, they only care if you solve their painful problem. It's wild to see developers spending hours debating a JavaScript framework while completely ignoring a broken checkout button that's costing their company thousands. The mindsets here couldn't be more opposite. The poor developer asks, "What cool thing can I build?" They'll go and spend 6 months building a highly complex, beautifully architected app that absolutely nobody uses, and then, they get frustrated. The rich developer simply asks, "What pain can I remove?" They know that spending a single weekend building a simple, highly demanded solution is worth exponentially more than a beautifully engineered ghost town. Okay, Section 4, the invisible coder. Trap 4 is all about poor communication. So, there is this incredibly dangerous myth in the engineering world that good work speaks for itself. Let me tell you, it doesn't. In the real world, you have to actively translate your technical value into business value, or you're just going to remain hidden. Just listen to how a slight change in wording entirely shifts perceived value here. A poor update says, refactored the auth middleware. Okay, technically accurate, sure, but it means absolutely nothing to a stakeholder. A strategic update says, improved authentication reliability, reducing login failures. Suddenly, highly technical work becomes visible, promotable value that decision makers actually understand.
And that brings us to Section 5, From Labor to Strategic Talent. This covers Trap 5 and our ultimate solution. The biggest trap of all is believing that, well, business is for the founders and the sales team. I'm just the technical person. That is an incredibly expensive mindset to have. And the secret is, you don't need an MBA to stop being seen as just labor. You just need to ask the right questions. How does this company actually make money? Who are our customers? What metrics matter most to leadership? Where is the company losing money? And what slows the team down? When you start understanding these concepts, you stop sounding like a developer who just wants to rewrite a system for fun, and you become a strategic partner. It all really boils down to this harsh but very real truth. The market does not reward heavy, grueling effort. The market rewards value. It's basically the difference between swinging a heavy hammer at an anvil all day versus just holding a diamond. This is exactly why a less technical founder can make millions from a relatively simple product, while a brilliant developer earns a fixed salary to build it for them. Difficulty does not equal value in business. Solving expensive problems does.
So, let's look at your ultimate roadmap. These are the 5 definitive layers you absolutely must stack on top of your coding skills to build wealth. Number 1, keep improving technically, but don't worship the code. Number 2, build leverage. Create assets that literally work while you sleep. Number 3, learn products thinking. Focus relentlessly on customer pain. Number 4, improve communication. Translate those technical wins into business wins. And number 5, understand the business model.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, profound question to reflect on. Am I using my intelligence in the right direction? You are already smart enough, you're already skilled enough, but if all of your intelligence is trapped inside code, your financial future will always depend on someone else noticing you. Don't just write code. Go out there, create value, build leverage, and secure your freedom. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.